Hard days, I look at it because in my hard days, in our hard days, it's not us. It's not by our strength. It's by God's strength.
Yeah.
So yeah. Yeah.
Well, you certainly answered that question, and I appreciate your courage, your transparency, and your willingness to be vulnerable to tell that story because so many times, particularly as women, we're trying to be strong. We don't want people to know the pain that we're in. And, for you to share that, like I said, takes a lot of being willing to be vulnerable. And I tell people all the time, particularly with women, that vulnerability is our superpower. It is our willingness to um, allow for that transparency, to be brave enough to allow for that transparency to come forth so that not only can we see that transformation within ourselves, but so that other people can have the courage to do the same.
Mm-hmm.
And the more people that have the courage to do the same, the more healing that can take place in our humanity as well. And so, and I've known of people that have had that experience of cutting, and it's a cry for help as much as it is saying, I don't want to go, but I'm close to it. And so you came through that, and I'm so glad. I'm thankful to God that you did because what you're doing, what your work is presenting is absolutely going to touch and heal women and others, men and women of all ages. Just by hearing this, your strength is really palpable, and I appreciate it. If you or you know someone who is thinking about suicide and needing help in an emotional crisis, dial 988. Suicide and Crisis Lifeline is a 24-hour toll-free confidential suicide prevention hotline available to anyone in suicidal crisis or emotional distress. How can a woman show up whole, though, in her community or in her marriage before she feels like she's got it all figured out? Um, you know, that's another part of not allowing yourself to be vulnerable, to just pretending you got it all figured out. I'll figure it out. I hear people say that all the time. Oh, I'll figure it out. I'll get it done. Right? How can a woman show up whole in her community or marriage before she feels like she has it all figured out? And how do we make that integral growth visible in a way that invites others in? Just like I was kind of mentioning before, how do we make it visible so that other people will be like, you know what, I really want to be there too?
Um, first you have to be true to yourself. How you treat yourself, how you love yourself, how you do is ultimately how you do others. Because the Bible says, love others how you love yourself. You can't love others and not love yourself. We have that delusion that you can treat others better than you can treat yourself. That's a delusion. And it shows up. So first you have to be true to yourself. First you have to do the work on yourself. So how do you do the work on yourself? It's by what? Learning yourself. And one of the ways to learn yourself is spend time with God. How you truly learn yourself is spending time with God so God can show you who you really are. Not who you pretend to be, not who your environment made you to be, not who people say you to be, not The trauma has made you to be. Your experiences have made you to be. Because that's all false identity.
True.
Like, again, here I am at 42, truly, truly. I'm learning a lot of things that I thought I was. And my best friend tells me all the time, that's not you. Like today, we were at the conference, and I had took a picture and I wanted to post it. I said, okay, now send me a picture of you so I can post it aside mine. She's like, no, just post a picture of you. So I had to do a heart check. Like, why do I need to have a picture of her with me to post? Why can't just post a picture of me?
Yeah. Yeah.
Like, she
I
doesn't validate me. Like the biggest one. So the whole time I was at the conference meeting all these amazing women, I kept introducing myself. Hi, I'm Precious. Hi, I'm Precious. And then it like dawned on me, was like, wait a minute. Let me reintroduce myself. Hi, I'm Dr. P. Hi, I'm Dr. Precious. Like I earned that. Like, so why would I take that away from myself? Something that I clearly earned. Like why? So yeah, I'm again, I'm still learning um to like not minimize myself to make other people feel comfortable. Because if I have to minimize myself to make other people around me feel comfortable, then they're not my people. And then I have to be okay with that. So yeah.
yeah, I agree. I agree. Um, Many women use, like we talked about spiritual cliches as a safety
Mhm.
net. We touched on that. I kind of want to go a little bit deeper with that. So when a woman feels herself, reaching for a cliche like it's just a season or, to avoid the hard truth, what is a better question that should trigger herself to ask in that moment? So, for example, I know one thing about me. If I feel overwhelmed about things, um, I will I start to practice avoidance, At least I know that about me. Before when I didn't know that, um things, and things would pile on and then I would avoid it. Then I'd find myself, going down a, a, a pit of, unfinished things, that type of thing.
Mhm.
But I would say to myself, things like, well, I can't worry about that right now. I can't worry about that right now. Or I would say things like, this too shall pass. This too shall pass. Right. So what is the better question that a woman can uh the better question that she should trigger herself? What can she use to trigger herself to ask in a moment before going to that cliche to avoid a hard truth?
Okay, so I suffer from that too. Okay. Um and when I read the question when you're talking about it, it reminded me of the scripture of the small foxes that destroy the vine, right? So with me, um, face your fears, because we avoid it because it's a fear. Because and it was the fear because we don't know what the outcome of it is going to be. But if you let it fester, then it hinders us. So I'm learning to face it. So, as an example, I stayed too long in a situation because I didn't want to face the outcome of it. I knew what the outcome of. A lot of times we know what the outcome of it, but we don't want to start over. We don't want to deal with the outcome of it, so we sit in it and we prolong it because the outcome is not going to change.
Mm.
It just makes us more damage
Mm.
and more stuff that we have to deal with in the end. But glory be to God that He helps us when we finally are forced to deal with it. Because that's what it
Yeah.
comes down to. It. He forces us to deal with it. When we could have dealt with it when it was small and could have got over it, now it's so big. Now it's like we're halfway dead trying to deal with it.
Yeah.
That we have mental issues, health issues, and we can't even really function and having to deal with it.
Yeah.
Because had we dealt with it 2, 3 years ago, we would have bounced back from it. So I would say when you see the smoke, catch it before it turns into a fire.
Yeah.
But at the same token, when you're in avoidance, it's like, you think that ostrich, if you buried your head in the sand, that eventually it'll go away. Knowing, but we know wholeheartedly that it's not gonna go away. But we're thinking that we'll over time gain the strength or come up with some plan where um it won't affect us as much.
Yeah.
That we'll be able to say what we need to say and it won't affect us, but it's gonna affect us either way.
Yeah. When we take our
So
head out of
yeah.
the sand, we get a chance to practice our faith, right? We get a chance to
Mm-hmm.
say, okay, whatever is going on, I'm going to have faith that I have the tenacity, I have the strength, I have the intelligence, I have the power, I have all the resources that moves me through that experience. We have to have the faith in ourselves, in our Creator and God, and we know that we have people watching this from all different backgrounds, and that the thing of it is that no matter what the background is, you still have to have faith. You still have to believe that there is that God created you for a special purpose, and you've got to have faith that that special purpose can be experienced and lived for a greater purpose than for what we even know. Um, and so I see you doing that, and I know that that is impacting the lives of others. Um,
Mm-hmm.
you talked about the fact that when we're out of that stage of avoidance, right? Then really what that does is it makes us more whole. Um, but I want to also get into dive a little bit more about when women feel overwhelmed and they don't feel whole. They don't feel that they are together enough to pull all of the pieces together. Where is the one area a woman should start to see the fastest impact on her emotional healing?
I'll say for me, it was the decision not to control. Like, um, when I stopped trying to control the situation and let it be what it was going to be, and decided that, hey, if God said go left, then so be it. And let the outcome be whatever God wanted the outcome to be. And I took my hands off of it and let God do his thing. I it always makes me think about the story of the bee. And that's how I look at things from going forward. When God made me, and just like when he made the bee, he told the bee to make the honey. He never told the bee what would happen to the honey. So when God made me, he told me to what? To love him, obey him, and do my call. So if I do them three things, the outcome is not my business. The outcome is his business. So the battles that come with it, it's not my business. It's his business. And what happens when we get in other people's business? It'll never go well for us. So what the saying says, I'm gonna drink my water and mind my business.
Yeah.
So, but that's what it like when I stopped trying to control the narrative, when I stopped trying to control the outcome, when I stopped trying to um navigate my own life, because my life is not my own. When I said yes to God, that's when my life no longer became my own. I said yes to his way, to his will. So I need to be living his life in his will. But the thing that
Thank you for watching On Stage on Fave Unite TV. If you're new to Fave Unite TV and you enjoyed what you saw, please leave a comment below, give us a thumbs up, and share it with your friends. If you'd like to see more content from Fave Unite TV, go ahead and subscribe. We're here for Black stories and Black storytellers. We're showcasing the culture on Fave Unite TV.